Hello, Boulder. Tonight we're going to make our flourless chocolate cake. This recipe is actually leavened not by a chemical leavening like baking soda or baking powder, but by eggs. So we're going to whip up our egg whites. So I'm going to show you real quick the easiest way to separate your egg. So I just go ahead and crack the eggs directly into the bowl here. You always want to start with nice cold eggs. Because if they're warm, they do have a tendency, the yolk has a tendency to break open and contaminate your egg whites. Because the egg whites won't whip up as well if it has that heavy fat from the egg yolk. So go ahead and break them in here, and then you just easily use your hand to scoop them out like this. And you use your fingers almost as a sieve or a strainer just to get all the egg whites off. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is separate our eggs. The other thing we're going to do is put our chocolate and our butter together on a double boiler. This obviously has our chocolate and our butter already in here. And then we're just going to melt it together. Now, the best way to actually get the most volume out of your egg whites is to warm them up a little bit too. So you can go ahead and set this over the same double boiler, obviously, that you're melting your chocolate and your butter. And then you just stir it and let these warm up to room temperature. And then once they're at a room temperature, just to get the chill off of it, you can go ahead and use either a stand mixer, like this gorgeous one we have here, or you can use a hand mixer. The other thought is to use a whisk and do it literally by hand. Not something I recommend, unless you want a big workout. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. Start it off a little slower, just to incorporate some air into it.
The way you love me and the way you're misbehaving. Ganja babe, my sweet ganja babe. Come wake my body, how do you
So we're going to stop now, and you can sort of see the volume on these. Right there. See how nice that is? Some people say it gets to bird beak. You see that little tip on there? The peak looks just like a little bird beak. So what we're going to do now is, with the rest of our sugar that we have left, is go ahead and put it into our egg yolks and mix that together.
Look what you're gonna do.
And take our butter and chocolate mixture. We want to make sure to wipe the bottom of this, because again, the water and chocolate don't go together. And then we'll just go ahead, and you can go either way, mix your chocolate into your egg yolks or your egg yolks into your chocolate, it doesn't matter. And then we'll just mix these ingredients together. And I am notorious for forgetting our vanilla, which would be our 6th ingredient, so let me make sure to do that now. So we just want to get that all incorporated. You don't want to overmix this at this point, because it will actually break. And then we're going to grab our egg whites here, and we're going to sacrifice a few. This is what the technical term is when you take just about a quarter of the amount total of egg whites you have, and you're not folding it, you're actually sacrificing it / killing it, whatever term you like, to just sort of loosen up this batter a little bit. And that way, once you have it loosened, it's going to fold into your egg whites a lot better. At this point, you put your whisk away. We're done with that, because we're actually going to fold this mixture into our egg whites. And folding just means to very carefully stir it. So you grab the sides of the bowl like that, and you just mix it, bringing the product that's on the bottom up to the top, and you just fold it. Now, here's a great hint too. When we bake this, we're going to do it in, this is a 8-inch pan, but it's actually a 3-inch high pan too, because it does rise almost like a souffle, and then it falls once you take it out of the oven, which it's supposed to do. So if you can get either a springform pan, like a 9-inch by 3, you do want 3-inch high sides on this. And what we've done is just take a cake pan, spray it a little bit, line it with plastic wrap, which I know sounds absurd, but it works. And then go ahead and put your batter in there, and you can see that it's streaked a little bit. It's all going to melt together when it bakes, and it's going to be just fine. Once we have it in our pan here, we're going to put it actually in a larger size pan. And this is just, you can either use like a 13 by 9-inch pan. This is obviously just a roasting pan. Set it in there, and then pour hot water. Fill it up with hot water about halfway up the sides of the pan. And the temperature on the oven should be pretty low, like about 300 degrees. And then you're going to bake this for about an hour. So now we're going to take it out of the oven, and again, it does fall a little bit once it's cool. And obviously the saran wrap does not melt to your cake, it doesn't melt to your pan. It does work. I wouldn't give you a technique that didn't work. And so it's also very easy now to lift your cake out of the pan. If you need to, you can always warm it up by dipping it, again, sort of halfway in some warm water, and then that'll help the cake release from the bottom. Just like that. And then you can just take it off. And look how gorgeous that is. If you want to garnish it, you can. You can put chocolate shavings around it. You can simply just put some fresh raspberries and knock some powdered sugar around it to plate it up. And then I'm going to show you the best way to serve it. Come on in.
Chef Jenny, look what I made.
Oh, you did a great job. Wonderful. So this obviously it's all garnished up, ready to go. And again, the best way to serve it is, excuse me, Marshall, is to use what they call a hot knife. You can get a nice sharp knife, like a chef knife like this, run it under hot water, or better yet, get it warm however necessary. And this is going to make the cake cut like butter. If you use a cold knife, it will sort of drag a little bit and rip up your cake more. And this is a great technique for slicing cheesecakes and other, you know, sort of dense cakes. Look how gorgeous this is. All for you. And again, you can serve this with some lightly sweetened whipped cream or some fresh fruit. Mange. Tell me how it is. Be honest. I can take it.
That's really good.
Thank you.